Imagine financing a $15 burrito over 4 easy payments. Sounds ridiculous, right? Yet millions of people are doing exactly that. Welcome to the world of buy now, pay later, where convenience today quietly locks you into debt tomorrow. Decades ago, if you wanted something you couldn't afford right away, you used layaway. Stores like Sears or Kmart would reserve your item while you slowly paid it off. You didn't take it home until you cleared the balance. It was disciplined, restrictive, and it forced you to live within your means. Then came credit cards, plastic that promised instant gratification. Swipe today, worry tomorrow.
Perfect. That's perfect. Thank you, Lisa. And we'll deal with it tomorrow. Come on.
By the early 1980s, credit cards had reshaped consumer culture, making spend now, pay later the norm. But there was still one barrier: interest. If you didn't pay on time, banks hit you with 20% plus APR. Painful, yes, but that pain kept some people cautious. Fast forward to the last decade, and we get the new polished modern version: buy now, pay later. Services like Afterpay, Klarna, and Affirm let you split a $200 purchase into 4 interest-free payments. No hard credit checks, no friction. And unlike layaway, you get the item immediately. On the surface, BNPL looks harmless, even helpful, but the debt is piling up fast. Globally, BNPL companies now have over $500 billion in outstanding loans, despite most plans being designed to last just 6 to 8 weeks. Clearly, people aren't paying them off as planned. Worse still, BNPL is growing at insane speed, from $2 billion in 2019 to a projected $122 billion by 2025 in the US alone. That's not just evolution, that's financial transformation. That's where the trap begins. And it's not just about products, it's about psychology. Stick with me, I'm going to explain why BNPL feels so irresistible and how it's engineered to exploit the wiring of your brain. Here's the truth. BNPL isn't just about money, it's about mind games. Let's start with the pain of paying. Research shows your brain actually feels physical discomfort when you part with cash. But split $200 sneaker purchase into 4 $50 payments, that pain got muted. Suddenly, those new J's feel like they only cost $50 today. Then there's temporal discounting, our tendency to overvalue immediate rewards and undervalue future costs. Psychologists call it instant gratification bias. I don't know, me 2 months from now, she can deal with that. That's exactly how most BNPL users think. And don't forget artificial urgency. At checkouts, BNPL buttons are highlighted in bright colors, sometimes pre-selected. Offers like limited time installment plan nudge you to click without second thought. It's not design, it's deliberate psychological engineering. Now, combine that with social media fueled consumption. Influencers flaunt luxury lifestyles, and BNPL says, don't wait, live like them today. The result? People financing not just TVs and iPhones, but groceries, burritos, even body wash.
What do we treat ourselves to?
Clothes.
Treat yourself.
Fragrances.
Treat yourself.
Massages.
Treat yourself.
Mimosas.
Treat yourself.
Fine leather goods.
Treat yourself.
According to LendingTree, groceries are now one of the fastest growing BNPL categories. A 2023 payment study found that 65% of Gen Z consumers have used BNPL at least once in the past year. Even more alarming, 43% of them used it for everyday essentials, not luxuries. When debt becomes the default for basic needs, the system is broken. Here's another shocking stat: 63% of BNPL users juggle more than one active loan at the same time. That's loan stacking. Small debts piling up until they choke you. And it's hitting young adults the hardest. Nearly 28% of BNPL borrowers are aged 18 to 24, a group with some of the lowest financial literacy. And this isn't just bad spending. According to a Federal Reserve study, over half of BNPL users said they borrowed because it was the only way they could afford the purchase. That's not indulgence, it's survival. But here's the kicker: the companies profit most when you fail. One of the 3 BNPL users misses a payment, triggering late fees up to 25% of the purchase value. Suddenly, that interest-free $100 hoodie costs $125. But if customers are drowning in debt, how are these companies making money? Chapter 3 reveals the business model and why it's shakier than you think. And if you're finding this breakdown eye-opening, hit that subscribe button. I promise to keep revealing the money traps that no one else wants you to notice. Alright, now where were we? Credit cards are banks' golden goose. According to the Fed, they deliver 4 times higher returns than mortgages, commercial loans, or personal loans. Even with rewards and interest-free grace periods, banks still win. BNPL, though? It's a mess. Take Affirm. Last year, it lost nearly $500 million, an improvement from the year before when losses hit almost $1 billion. Klarna, once valued at $45 billion, had to delay its IPO after reporting a quarterly loss of nearly $100 million. So how do they survive? Merchant fees. While credit card processors charge about 2 to 3%, BNPL platforms can demand up to 8% of every sale. That's an entire profit margin for many retailers. But merchants bite the bullet because BNPL shoppers are their dream shopper. They spend 30% more overall and are 17 to 26% more likely to buy than non-BNPL users. According to analytics, in 2022, BNPL use on e-commerce platforms jumped 78% year over year during the holiday shopping season. Translation? Without BNPL, many of those purchases wouldn't have happened at all. The business model isn't about affordability, it's about inflating demand at any cost necessary. And here's the twisted part. Even if you never use BNPL, you're paying for it. Since merchants can't legally pass fees only to BNPL users, they raise prices across the board. Your full cash payment is subsidizing someone else's 4 installments. But BNPL doesn't just earn from merchants. They monetize your data, selling insights about your shopping habits to advertisers. They profit from late fees when you miss payments. And they borrow cheap money from institutional leaders to re-lend to consumers. Except their lending is sloppy. In Q1 alone, Klarna wrote off $136 million in unrecoverable loans. Here's the irony. For a business accused of being predatory, BNPL is terrible at actually being profitable. But they don't care, because like Uber or Airbnb in the early days, this is the market grab phase. Once they dominate, expect higher fees, tighter terms, and fewer consumer-friendly perks. In fact, Fitch Ratings warned in 2023 that BNPL delinquency rates are now higher than credit card delinquencies for the same borrower groups. That flips the whole narrative. BNPL isn't safer than credit cards, it's riskier. But what happens when you zoom out? Chapter 4 will show you how BNPL is fueling America's $5 trillion debt crisis. Yes, $5 trillion. And why it's worse than credit cards. As of 2024, Americans owe over $5 trillion in non-housing consumer debt. That's enough to buy every NFL, NBA, and MLB team 10 times over. And BNPL is pouring gasoline on that fire. Why? Because BNPL disguises debt as harmless installments. Unlike credit cards, most BNPL loans don't show up on credit reports. That means consumers can stack them endlessly, taking one loan to pay off another, even using credit cards to pay BNPL bills. That's financial Jenga, and eventually the tower collapses. The danger is in the normalization. Financing a fridge makes sense. Financing a Chipotle burrito? That's insanity. Yet Klarna on DoorDash lets you do just that. 4 payments of $3.75 for your $15 lunch.
I'm the king of the world!
When everyday necessities get financed, it's a flashing red sign. People aren't indulging. They're desperate. According to Credit Karma, nearly 40% of BNPL users report falling behind on other bills, rent, utilities, car payments, because of BNPL obligations. That means it's not just creating new debt, it's destabilizing existing budgets. Even scarier, 69% of BNPL users are already in credit card debt. These are not people who need more access to borrowing, and when they miss a BNPL payment, they don't just face late fees. They also risk overdraft charges from their banks, creating a never-ending snowball effect. The cultural shift is just as worrying. We've financialized everything, even coffee. A $5 latte isn't just a drink, it's a chance to finance. Combine that with declining financial literacy, influencer-driven FOMO, and stagnant wages, and you get a system designed to keep you broke. This is why BNPL defaults are surging. Industry insiders admit repayment reliability is far worse than they forecast. Remember, these loans are supposed to just last weeks, but billions are going unpaid for months, even years. A TransUnion analysis found that BNPL users are 64% more likely to also carry personal loans and 18% more likely to be delinquent on other debts. It's not just a small payment plan, it's the start of a debt avalanche. So what can we actually do about it? In Chapter 5, we'll break down how to protect yourself and the mindset shift that could save you from the BNPL trap. Here's the golden rule. Never spend money you don't already have. Whether it's a credit card or BNPL, if it's not in your account today, treat it like you can't afford it. BNPL can be used responsibly. For example, spending payments on a necessary large expense, like for a laptop for school, might make sense if you have the cash but you want to keep your checking balance flexible. But financing groceries, body wash, or burritos? That's not strategy. That's survival mode disguised as convenience. Avoid loan stacking. The average BNPL borrower has more than one active loan. Don't let multiple small debts snowball into financial quicksand. Remember, debt is 100 times easier to get into than out of. Understand the psychology. When you say pay $25 today, mentally reframe it as, this is $100 coming directly out of my account. Treat every BNPL button like it's already cash gone. And, most importantly, build the skill BNPL doesn't want you to have, delayed gratification. Saving for something, even just for a month, beats financing it for the next 6 months with penalties. Because here's the reality, BNPL companies aren't your friend. They win whether you pay on time or not. They've spent millions engineering checkout pages to bypass your rational thinking. But now you know the game.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
You don't have to swear off BNPL forever, you just have to flip the script. Use it strategically, not emotionally. Don't let 4 easy payments turn into 4 years of regret. And if this video gave you a wake-up call, do me a favor, like and subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. Together, we'll keep exposing the traps designed to keep you broke.